A 4K dash camera with stunning low-light performance and the best image sensor in the industry at a good price. 70mai is here with the A810 model, and we want to find out all the strong and the weak sides, so let's inspect. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, great to meet you, I'm the Tech Mishka. Over here we inspect a lot of cool and interesting tech, and today we're going to talk about dash cameras. And I think we can agree that we live in this transition period where dash cams are going from Full HD in direction 4K as kind of a standard setup. And this brings a lot of challenges, especially for the image sensor manufacturers, because they have to keep pretty much the same size of those sensors, but now they have to fit a lot more pixels, and each and every pixel is fighting for more light, especially at night, which kind of pushed these manufacturers to get more creative about the light distribution. And now we have the new Sony Starvis 2 image sensor line, and this very dash camera is equipped with such kind of a 4K image sensor. That's, by the way, the 70mai A810, something I have the pleasure to try out in the past few weeks, and now I'm going to tell you everything about the strong and the weak sides and whether this is really worth the money. It's not the first 70mai dashcam that I test on the channel. You've previously seen reviews of the famous 70mai Omni, the A500S, the older M300, so this dashcam is made by a company with a lot of experience about good car DVRs. While many people would call it budget-oriented, $180 is way above the impulse buying threshold, and still, the price for all the promised features is a lot more tempting than pretty much anything else on the market, such as the top solutions from Blackview, Thinkware, even the Chinese DDPi and Viofo. While the bar is pretty high, at this price, A810 may turn into a golden standard if done right, of course. The unboxing doesn't show any signs of 70mai making a cheap product, quite the opposite, some useful marketing information present, two sections inside the box. The first one houses the front and the rear unit. Actually, great to see that 70mai maintains similar form factors across their portfolio, and this wedge-shaped design is among my favorites. We notice once again the implementation of hardware buttons. Might sound as a funny statement in 2024, but this is certainly something to appreciate and a lot more functional than a touchscreen. You can adjust the angle of the lens as well. The rear module is small and discreet and also lets you adapt the angle position. The other compartment has the accessories. There's a dual-port charger. Kudos to 70mai for continuing to supply such. There's the cable for the power source if you want to use the car cigar lighter port, and a cable for the rear camera unit. Since we visually already have a good idea about A810's buttons, display and lens area, it's a good moment to have a specification walkthrough. The front unit hosts Sony's best-in-class image sensor capable of running 4K for dash cameras. The algorithm has 70mai's own developed color science. You can record up to 60 frames per second if needed. The front lens has aperture of f/1.8 and 150-degree field of view. There's a 3-inch display screen, inbuilt GPS, a rear camera module, an inbuilt 500 mAh battery, even an option for a 4G hardwire kit. First of all, these specifications sound terrific. Apparently the front unit is backed by the 4K Sony Starvis 2 image sensor, just as it is with the Vantru N4 Pro, and the Viofo A229 Pro, which I have reviewed a few weeks ago on the channel, and the latter one supports a Sony Starvis image sensor for the rear unit in case that really matters to you. But over here there are a bunch of things which are pretty great. First of all, ADAS support, so Advanced Driver Assistance System, kind of letting you know in case you're departing the lane, or in case cars in front of you are braking suddenly, or it can even notice pedestrians. That can be super helpful if you're driving mostly inside the city. It also has a tremendously good smartphone app, one of the best I've seen on a dash camera ever. A lot of improvements in the past months. Now, not only you can download very quickly all the files because it supports dual-band Wi-Fi, but you also have the timeline mode where you can pick a date and time and just use the chunk and download the chunk that you actually need. If you look for things to criticize, inside here we have a battery instead of a supercapacitor, and I'm sure this is going to be kind of a disturbance for people who are living in hot climate area. Although 70mai promise very wide temperature tolerance about it. Also, you can attach a 4G hardwire kit, which means that you can connect to this camera and view remotely. Unfortunately, I didn't get to try this one. Speaking of the hardware installation, it's time for me to show you how to quickly set it up, and then we're going to talk about the footage. Reading first, doing next is the best approach for this one. 70mai are generous enough to give you detailed instructions in the smartphone app too. Find a good spot on the windshield, has to be within the reach of the wipers and also not obstructing your view. Then apply the screen folio and install the DashCam with its adhesive on the top. Then work on the cabling management. The goal is to find a discreet way to bring the cable to the USB port. Or if you plan to use a hardwire kit, which is going to enable you to take advantage of the 24/7 parking monitoring, you have to find the best path to the fuse box and figure out which is the ACC and the DCC source necessary. Installing a hardwire kit requires somewhat more skills and a multimeter in most cases. If you're not sure what you're about to do, better don't and ask professionals for some help. Next is the rear camera installation, and it's super simple because the signal cable is also the power cable, so just stick it to the window on top of the folio. Unfortunately, 70mai do not offer a spare one, nor they give you replacement tape, something I figured out after realizing that I'm not happy with the quality of the adhesive tape on the rear units. As for the first-time setup, it is down to following the steps that the interface brings you through. Most of these are basic tasks. The more advanced tuning you may do from the menus or within the smartphone app, but I've as usually kept most of the defaults and whenever possible have chosen settings with the highest possible bitrates. So apparently the footage is, I would say, class-leading. Details, sharpness, contrast, they're close to perfection. Well, the ultra-wide angle makes the edges look distorted, but they maintain good levels of sharpness, which is nice. The point here is to distinguish car plates and have as many details as possible, which is a goal that the A810 well accomplishes. I know that you want to see a lot of low-light samples, so here they are, almost brilliant. Honestly, being aware of the hardware inside, I was expecting nothing short of great footage. With the HDR option on, the A810 reacts surprisingly good on light source changes. Since 60 frames per second is also being advertised, here's a 1080p sample because the higher frame rate is only possible in Full HD resolution. Keep in mind that due to the 180-degree shutter rule, something that you may want to Google about in case you hear for the first time, the image quality at dark will slightly degrade, and I'd go for 60 FPS if I need daytime recordings mostly. Of course, testing it against something more expensive is necessary, and well, looks like I have to admit that the Blackview DR970X doesn't offer the best 4K video quality anymore, but it's always great to see how new generations may improve. Microphone testing. I'm currently driving with around 60 km per hour. And yes, it's a bit foggy outside, and if you wonder, yes, this is a testing of the internal microphone inside 70mai A810. Would be nice of you to say, how do you feel about the microphone quality? Please comment down below. While you're enjoying more footage captured with 70mai's A810, let's think about the possible drawbacks. The lack of spare adhesives in the box, the inbuilt battery instead of a supercapacitor, and I've seen some remarks about a limit related to the view duration while streaming via the 4G-enabled hardwire kit, something I didn't have the chance to test on my own, though. From everything we've seen so far about A810, I can say that 70mai once again nailed it. Yes, that's an incremental upgrade, bringing the necessary enhancements to make this one of the best sub-$200 4K dash cameras, which pretty much have everything that you need. Parking modes, pretty nice design, very capable image sensor, remarkably good image quality, especially from the front unit because the rear one is not that good, and the smartphone app, which is among the best on the market. And can I recommend it? I can certainly do so. I think that if you buy 70mai A810, you're going to be pretty happy about your choice. Or could be that you disagree or maybe agree with my opinion. Therefore, we can carry on the conversation in the comment section below the video. I'm really curious to hear from you. Do you like the new color science of 70mai? Do you like the overall image quality and the performance? And do you think it is worth the upgrade to the Sony Starvis 2 image sensor? Now that's been everything about this episode. Thank you very much for watching it. In case you want to buy this at a discount, especially now around Christmas, that's a pretty good deal, so check the video description area. And thank you very much for watching. It would be great if you subscribe, and I guess I'm gonna see you in a few days' time. Bye!